Robert from Georgia, we got your box. It's here. Let the games begin. This is a first here at Meet Me in the Game Room at the Bench, because this is the first time that one of you has, no, it's not the first time one of you has reached out to us, but it's the first time one of you has reached out to us and actually sent us your broken thing to try and fix it. And our friend Robert from Georgia sent us this box, and in it is something awesome that's got an issue. Awesomely broken, I guess. Let's see what's in the box. Cheryl's down here too.
Hi, Peeps.
Awesome. Getting lots of awesomeness done in our workshop. Alright. It's open. Here we go. Box. Good job on the backing, Robert. There it is. Green and puffy. Can you tell what it is already? Let's get back into position. Action-packed. Yes. Alright. Bang. There it is. Looks to be in pretty good shape. What do you think of that?
Sweet.
This thing has an issue, and we're going to get to it and see if we can make it not have an issue. Oh. Well now. Robert, very nice. I told Robert to send me his games if he was having issues with them. Holy crow.
Wowie.
Alright, they've got some good ones in here. Motocross racer, we don't have
don't
that.
work?
That's awesome. Well, he doesn't know, I guess, because the thing's having issues. So.
All
But
right. So
we'll
test it.
get them working, I'm sure. Mine a 49er. Awesome. Got some good games, that's for sure. Ah, that's one of my favorite things. A game with no labels. It's a mystery. Especially if it doesn't work. But it probably works. Either way, we'll make it work. Robert, this is awesome. This is a great box of games, and we'll go through them and clean them up too. We'll take care of this thing. Alright, before we go tearing into things here, we got it hooked up to a TV, and put Donkey Kong in, and we're going to give this thing a test run and just see what it does. Robert says he was having some squiggly line issues and stuff like that, so yeah, well, there's a little crackly RF. Let's give it another shot here. Okay, the colors are a little off. Yeah, we'll see that. Let's wait 12 seconds, because Coleco thought that would be a good idea. Gamers like to wait 12 seconds to play their game. Okay, skill. Oh, there's those lines Robert was talking about. Controller feels pretty good. Yeah, it's a little slow. Up and down works, left and right seems to work. Jump might not work so hot. Okay. Okay, so we don't have jump, but that's alright. Alright, Robert. You got some lines, you got bad controllers. Now let's take it apart. So there's a million videos about taking these things apart. There's 8 screws on the bottom, and opening this thing up. This isn't one of those videos. But I do want to go over that you can get this thing apart without taking this front plate off of here and without screwing up this decal, which a lot of people do and they mess it up and it's not good. But once you get the 8 screws out of this thing, you can kind of pull it from the back here, kind of pull down a little bit, and you just got to work this cover off, just like so. Ta-da! That was pretty simple, right? No snapping your covers. Back to the RF box. I did just put a little bit of flux down here where the jack meets the box. And I just want to put a little solder there to help keep that sealed up. Now you can open up this box too. Take the RF box right off of the motherboard and reseal this thing from the inside, and that's probably the more correct way. But this works, and it's simple enough to just heat up a little bit and get it right here. Okay, and these here, see that one? That one wiggle? That is the one that's directly off the back of that thing. There's a big problem with so many ColecoVisions of the world. Like we did before in our other video, we're going to open this thing up and take a look and see exactly why it's so dirty. Just got to bend these tabs. Just bend them out a little bit, and then you can work with it. Don't pinch your fingers. And there, Robert. How close can I get up here with these pieces? See all that all over that thing? And see all that all over that? That causes all those issues. This is 40-year-old dielectric grease, whatever you want to call it. It dries up. It's old. It's a lubricant, but yeah, it dries up. Look at the chunks. Look at the junk coming off of that. That's just alcohol, rubbing alcohol. 91%, I believe. Not too special. So that right there is a major cleanup. Ugh, ugh. Look at yuckness. Let's get the other side of this Q-tip. Whoa, load it up. Some guys, they go in here with scrapers and sandpaper and files and all this stuff to like grind away this metal, and you just need to clean this metal. You need to treat this metal, and it's fine. Dirty. Dirty. So that right there, okay, I'm just grabbing one. That right there is a million times better, and that right there is a million times better. So if I put this back together just like that, it would be fine. This thing would work again, I'm sure of it. But bright boy. So here's the way you got to think of this thing. Think of it like an old car. When big old cruisers and stuff, big cars had chrome bumpers, big metal bumpers on the front and back, and you could shine that bumper up and make that thing gleam, and it was like a mirror. The chrome was so beautiful. So you've treated that metal, and you've made that metal nice. You need to treat this metal too. This metal can get just as nice. Let's zoom in. Let's see if I can make it all happen right here in front of your face. Okay, so it looks clean, right? It looks good. I put some Bright Boy on a Q-tip, and I'm going to give these things a little rub. And you can see now I've already cleaned with the alcohol, and I got off a lot of gunk. But you see the gray here coming off. See the dirtiness on my Q-tip. So let's wipe that off. On the other side. Clean this thing like a big shiny bumper. You get a 65 Cadillac and it's got big chrome bumpers. Clean them, treat them, and make them nice. These switches inside of old systems, it's the same way. They just get dirty and oxidized, and you can clean them, and cleaning them is awesome. But treat them too, and polish them. Polish the pins and buff them, and they will gleam. And then de-electric grease them and put them back together. So, is that not way better? Look at, you saw it happen right in front of your face. Didn't do anything special. Bright Boy, same dirty Q-tip of Bright Boy. Already cleaned with alcohol, this contact. But this is the kicker. The treatment of the metal after the cleaning of the metal. Don't sand it down and don't file it. Treat it and shine it and then lube it up and put it back together, and the thing will be incredible. Look at that. That is awesome. And that's the whole process. Take a little bit of new dielectric grease, and you just want a little bit on these contact points. You don't want this thing soaking wet and dripping. You just want a little. Alright, that looks good. And here's how you put it back together. Okay, now lay our contacts back into the switch. They fit nicely in a little groove. Okay. Sweet. Now our switch is cleaned, polished, and treated, lubed up. Stick it back together. Okay, and that is the whole process of the switch. You're going to squeeze this thing together. Alright. That's the switch back together. Alright, we should be able to put our switch right back into place. Just like so. Okay. I'm going to use a little bit of flux here because I cleaned up all the old stuff pretty well, I think. Alright, and let's tack down the corner. And like any soldering job, clean it when you're done. Don't leave a mess for the next guy. There's always going to be a next guy. Think of it that way. Somebody's coming into this thing after you, and you don't want to be the slob that left the place a mess. Robert, there's your switch rebuilt. And there's your RF adapter, nice and tight. That feels good. That's all the work on the board we're going to do. I'm going to run upstairs, clean up that console, and we'll put it back together and see what it does. So we'll see you in a few. Before we get back to the rest of the console, I wanted to take a look at these controllers, because some directions were a little wonky. Some of the buttons were a little wonky. Okay, ready? Watch this. See? It springs. Okay, so it's basically just pop it up. Little clips down here at the end. They lock in a little cross here, so just be careful with that. So these, oof, get very brittle, as you can see how brittle this is. So there's not a lot to do for that. What I tried to do is don't take this out. If you can leave this in and work around it, it's the best, because getting it into this little slot in here, this ribbon cable is so thin and brittle anyway. I don't like it. It's a pain in the butt. Yuck. But I see a couple things in here already that we're going to have to take care of and fix. And maybe we will have to take that out, but let's hope we don't. So one thing needs to be fixed right here. They're wires. Yeah, you'll have to desolder them to take them apart, but it's worth it so these things don't just fall apart while you're playing, because that's what happens. The little clips break in half, that wire's off of there, and then you can't go up, you can't go down. I got no fire button. What is it? Well, a lot of times it's that broken connection in there. So we're going to do this ahead of time and make that broken connection never break. This came out in 1982, so 39 years. These things need a little love, that's all. And they will give you a lot more years of service if you treat them well. Like anything. Do it like this and you won't have to do it again for another 30 years, 40 years, 39 years. I'm just going to take off these big blobs of solder they put on. What we're going to do next is come in with a regular soldering iron. Push that through. So we didn't take off all the solder with the desoldering gun. So we're basically just breaking that little bit that's left, pushing out the connector. Now, what do we got? Two of them came right out. There's the third one. There's the fourth one. So look at that under there. Those are your connections. Those are your contact points. Now hit each one of these with the bright boy on the Q-tip here. So polish those things. Get a paper towel, get in there, and polish. Make them shine. Look at each one of those now. It shines. That's a good thing. Do the same thing to each one of these little contact points. The bright boy will clean off that old stuff, but it'll also treat that metal. Polish it. Really give it a good rub. Look at that. That's awesome. That's what it was. That's what it is. Come on, you want these things to be as perfect as they can be inside of here. So take time and clean them. Those look awesome.